All right. Morning. Oh, great. We've got 5 on. Wow. Excellent. Hi, Des. Wake up. Okay, who else is here? Hi, Z. Hi, Graham. Right, now let me think. Okay, so today we can do a splurge, but I've also picked a yes, EP. Well, it's basically EP. It's like double album now. It's just like the stuff's collecting and collecting, isn't it? So yes, it is. Hi, Arch. Hi, Ryan. Hi, Scott. Excellent. Lots of us here today. So yeah, so it's EP all of the way now. So hopefully album's out September, and then like the trick is to get as far ahead with the release schedule as I can. And I'm just gonna go back to like absolutely hammering. Is the plan. I mean, left to my own devices, this is what happens. I'll just hammer out tracks every month. There'll be one every month, but then, you know, if we have that many, then there'll probably be like, you know, a 3-track EP here and there, and then releases. So there'll be plenty going on. That's for sure. Right. September, yeah, for McRocklin and Hutch. And then September, October. I would imagine sort of like October, November, I'll start pushing tracks out. Because I suppose I'll have to leave a bit of distance, won't I, for that album, and then I'll start releasing stuff. But it's exciting, isn't it? I could go and do a gig, like in real life, couldn't I? I could just kind of go out and stand there with a guitar and play, busk, and go out down the road. I'm just in the town. Oh yes, yes, Arch. Well, I don't even wake up actually. I literally. So the routine is I get up, I put the kettle on, then I come in here all bleary eyed. I switch all the lights on, switch the computer on, try to focus the camera, uh, which is really interesting. So I'm trying to focus my eyes and focus the camera all at the same time. So do that. Um, 2 seconds. Yeah. So yeah, come down, focus the camera, focus my eyes, switch the computer on, fire up this, go back upstairs, make a thermos flask and the coffee, bring that down, sit here, and then everything's booted up usually. Just do a quick mic check, and then spend probably about 2 minutes trying to arrange the headphones on my head so my hair looks okay. And actually, the arrangement of the headphones and the hair probably takes the most time, to be honest. And that's no joke. That's actually serious. What it is like I don't like putting the headphones on just on my ears and pushing my hair back, because when I look back, I look like I've got a mullet. So I do sacrifice a bit of sound quality having hair over my ears and then jamming it on with the headphones. But I can assure you, when I do actually mix the track and I'm off camera, then the hair is removed from the headphones. Yeah. Because I suppose I could be, you know, I could add too much top end to something like this, couldn't I? Right, yeah. So, I mean, if you're too tired, you just, right. So, what this is about is, I mean, I've been doing this for years, actually getting up at 5 and getting up into the studio. And, in fact, all my tracks have been pretty much done in the morning. Um, what it is it's forming a habit. That's all it is. So you get up, and this activity happens at the same time every day, without fail. So I'm in here 5:30, and my creative sprint is from now till 7:15, 7 o'clock, say. And because I do that every day, it's like going to the gym, really. If I miss one, I feel weird. And the fact of the matter is like our brains, the neural plasticity of it. But you can the cool thing about that is it actually physically changes when you form a habit. So when that actually happens, it's locked on, and it's a lot easier to kind of get up and go to the studio. The brain's a bit like it's like the way I've been explained to me, it's like a field of wheat, and you walk through it, and you kind of make a track, and then it's easy to get through the field. Uh, but yes, your brain physically changes for the habit, and it just becomes a lot easier. And how long it takes is usually, I mean, for it to really get locked on, it's about 14 days for a habit. But usually I find I'm getting there after about 7. So if you stick through it for 14 days, the habit will be there, and it'll be locked on. Yeah. But absolutely love the mornings. They're brilliant. And that's any habit practice. You just got to do it regularly. And the way the way habits are, also to reinforce it. Sorry, I'm waking up. A habit has a trigger, and then you can have a reward. So you can be good to yourself after you do whatever it is you're doing. Give yourself a reward after, and always end your activity on a high, because your brain subconsciously wants to come back to it. So I'm sure we can all remember at school, lunchtime break, playing a really great game with your mates. Okay, when that used to happen at school, I wasn't so bothered about what happened during the day, like in the lessons. I was quite happy to go back to school for just for the lunch breaks. It was a great laugh. Um, so having a reward is good, and then obviously having a trigger, and then also consequences is good. So what happened? I decided I was kind of flagging a little bit and missing sessions here and there, and I wasn't too happy. But I decided, right, I'll tell you what will get me going is I'll start streaming every studio session, which was a bit of a wild jump for me, making music in front of everybody, because at first you play at the camera a bit, don't you? You don't want anybody to see you failing. But actually now, it's just, the trick of that was just letting go, and just if it's shit, it's shit, and that's it. And it's, because that's life, isn't it? So I just open the doors, everybody can see in, and, sometimes I just die in here. But most of the time, it's always a win. But the fact of the matter is, there's a consequence there, and it keeps me getting up. And because there's people there waiting, so that's another thing that's really propelled me along. And I think also the other thing about opening this, it's a bit of a TV series now, isn't it? Now we're releasing an EP, and you've seen McRocklin and Hutch tracks being done in the studio. It's a little bit of it's a bit of TV view, and there's a bit of a story there. I think one of the interesting things that's happening that I've noticed really for the last week is people getting involved in the writing process, and I think this is really, really interesting. I think this is for television, this is brilliant, and I like the fact that other people can have a bit of ownership about what happens by making suggestions, and then me trying them out in the studio. Is a right laugh. I think that's hilarious. I think it's great fun, and it'll be great for you guys to hear those ideas when they come out, because they'll be there, immortalised forever on Spotify and 150 other outlets when released. Yeah. Oh, it's good. It's liberating when you see people, when when people see you sweat. It just doesn't become a problem anymore. It just depends on how old you are. Like I think this is like a thing. Come on, it's the millennium now, isn't it? But back in the day, um, what's the thing I always say? Yeah, back in the day, right? So like Yngwie Malmsteen to me as a kid was a god. I never saw him play a rubbish note. It was just you're only ever presented with amazing videos of him jumping about and explosions happening and stuff, or bits of him playing live and just being absolutely amazing. Pretty much. Apart from that Alcatraz video where he stands on his lead and pulls it out, I was quite amused at that. But what's I saying? Yes, but you only back in the 80s, you only ever saw like they were all just gods, weren't they? You didn't see much of them messing up or thinking about stuff or writing stuff or doing the process. It was always like them doing something brilliantly. But that's not life. We're all just human beings. We're all flesh and blood, and we all make mistakes. And when we're playing actually music, is it a mistake? It's just something we didn't mean to play. That's all it is. I didn't say that. That's Victor Wooten. He's got this brilliant book called a recommended read for everybody. Right? Has anybody here read The Music Lesson by Victor Wooten? If you haven't, you've got to read it. It's brilliant. I absolutely love that book. I've read it 3 times. It's on Audible. Has everybody got Audible? Oh, it's like The Music Lesson's brilliant. I've read it. I've listened to it about 3 times. That's part of my routine, actually. Like usually, not all the time, but because I have like Audible, I'll listen to a book in the car. Lately, I've been listening to what have I been listening to? Last week, I've been going through Frank Gambale interviews. Because now I've started. Oh yeah, Audible. It's just it's a library of audiobooks. Wow. Oh, cool. Wow. That's amazing, Arch. Yeah, a lot of my crazy ideas come from books, to be honest. So one day I'll release the reading list, the recommended Hutch reading list. But in terms of, what I do, I've learnt loads just from books and like for my process and productivity. Wow. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, so Victor, what a legend he is. But this book is amazing, and I think it's narrated by him as well. I think it's him talking on it. He does a good job. And I even need more McRocklin and Hutch ASAP. Yeah, well, there's an album coming soon. Yeah, Small World, definitely. Yes, I think I have watched that now. That's interesting because that's where he gets the audience to sing a pentatonic scale, and it's like instinctive. Yeah, so I think yes, I have watched that. Another thing to watch is a little bit more dry is, and I always forget his name. Let me think. Who's the composer who wrote West Side Story? Oh God, right, I'm not going anywhere till I remember. It'll come. No, I can't remember. Oh man, what's he called? Who's the guy who wrote West Side Story? I've mentioned him loads before. Why would I forget? I'm gonna do a quick search. Got it, remembered. So on YouTube, there's the Leonard Bernstein Harvard lectures, which he did in the 70s. And he talks about syntax, and he also talks about the Harmonic Series. And it's the Harmonic Series, and I think it's the first video that he does, and it's brilliant watching him present. It's excellent. The way that they've got it all set up in the 70s is brilliant. So yeah, he talks about the Harmonic Series, and you know, I'll quickly tell you. So basically, what happened is he was analysing all of these pieces of music, right? And they all had very similar constellations of notes, and this was music that was successful. And he was trying to find out why these pieces of music were successful. What was it in the music that they had in common that made them, everybody liked them? So he was analysing all of these bits of music, and then he found that they all had a very similar constellation of notes. And then what happened is they took the research further, and they put a multidisciplinary team together. And there was a linguistics person, and there was a physicist and some other people, and they all researched into this. And what the physicist found is that these notes are all what they call the harmonic series. So when you play a note on a piano or any instrument, and you look at it on an oscilloscope, it's not just one note you're hearing, it's a series of notes. And pretty much that series of notes, weirdly enough, is almost the pentatonic scale. There's one note which is like an A flat. It's like in between an A flat and something else. It's like a quarter tone, but you can round it up, and it becomes, if you're hitting the note C, it becomes part of the pentatonic scale. So yes, and then all of these notes had that pentatonic constellation, and also the modulations that we have in our voices are also based around that pentatonic scale as well, apparently. And this is across the entire world. So so instinctively, as human beings, this is why we just automatically think when you play a pentatonic scale that it usually fits really, really well of whatever you're playing. And of course, it also contains like chord tones as well. So it's always a good fit whenever you're playing, providing you're using your ear when you're playing. So I thought that was quite interesting, but that's the harmonic series. And why is it useful? Well, it's a great way when you're writing it's a good limitation. So when we're writing music, it's good to have limitations on what we're doing. When we have too many choices, that's when problems can happen. Then we can procrastinate, we can get stuck. Is this right? Is that right? But, a limitation like making melodies, using the pentatonic scale is a great starting place and always works. Yeah, it's a good lecture. But they're definitely on YouTube. The Leonard Bernstein Harvard lectures. Yeah, you have it all right. I already have it lined up. Great. But yeah, it's the first video, and he's I think it's great the way they've got the room set up. He's got this really nice carpet. Like he's got his like chair. He's got a table. He's got like his grand piano. It's brilliant. And then the audience round him in the round, and he just kind of walks. It's like an old fashioned movie play. It's almost like a play than a lecture. Wish I could talk like him. It'd be brilliant if I could. Right. Okay, we better make a start. I'm talking too much here, aren't I? All right, here we go. So I think what we're going to do is we'll have a look at the machine. And I pulled something out yesterday. Right, this one here, down. Right, let's get it up. Down. And I'm back. Right, okay, let's have a listen. So direct listening, I think. I'm trying to think of what direct listening to use. Oh, this is another thing. So right, so we're going to do some direct listening, okay? And really, I should just switch the screen off when we're doing this, so you can't look at me, or the computer or anything. But so direct listening it's almost like meditation, right? So we're all going to listen to this piece of music, right? And we'll do an element focus. So we're just going to focus in. You can just pick any instrument or an element and just focus in on that instrument. Your brain will get distracted. There'll be different kind of things come in there, but just try and refocus back onto that element of music. Any thoughts that you have about the music in terms of like quality or anything like that, you mustn't have any quality judgments. You have to ignore those thoughts. So as I say, it's like meditation. So these thoughts, as we're listening to the music, will come into your head and leave. So I always think of it like standing on a train platform and watching trains come in. So a thought, that's it's a train. So your thoughts are trains. So one train will come in, doors will open, don't get on the train, just let the train go. The thought will come along, stop, doors open, and then it'll go again. So we're just ignoring any distracting thoughts. Why? Is because if we're listening to our thoughts, right, we're not listening to the music. And this goes when we're playing guitar and improvising. Play a bum note, all kinds of distracting thoughts go flying into your head, but you have to learn to ignore them and refocus in on the music. We have to be focused in on the music, we have to be in the now. There's no past and there's no future. So just, and it's a skill and it's something you've got to practice. And it's amazing how many people don't really know how to listen to music. It's so easy just to, and we all do it, just get lost in the distracting thoughts. And then, but if you're listening to those thoughts and you're getting on board with them and you're exploring that, the music's going by and we're just not paying any attention to it. Right, okay, so pick an element and we'll direct a listen. And a good way to start this, actually, is just focusing on your breathing for a bit. And just feel, if you're sitting down, feel the pressure if you're sitting in the chair, your feet on the floor. And I think we can start. Here we go. Direct listen. Right, okay, so let's get some starting things down here. Now, if anybody wants to make any suggestions, just fire them in into the chat, and I will try them out. So, I'm going to go at the machine, going to get the discovery card up, and I'm going to start adding some stuff in. So let's have a checklist. Basic discover. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have almost. So, found sound burial style percussion. So, I don't know if anybody's familiar with burial, but he's like, I suppose he's like a dark. I suppose he's just sort of like dark garage. He's almost a genre in his own way, but it's well worth listening to his stuff. What was it? So add. I spelled it wrong. Add Foley throughout because it needs some sort of grit. Noise. We're going to need some noise, hiss, and we're going to need some sort of. It's all background stuff. This ambient harmonic. Harmonic textures. SH101 needs movement. And when you do these lists, it's always best to just do it. One, listen and then do your list, or two if you have to. But don't make lists while you're listening, because you end up just doing things you don't need to do. It's what you can remember, really. And then have a listen and then go back, later on if you have to. Is that it? So none of this stuff either. It's not like a mix thing. I mean, I could go like drums sounded dull, brighten them, but like that wouldn't be. We're discovering what the music wants to be, really. I mean, I'm tempted to add a B section, but I think it would be really cheesy to do that. So I'm probably not going to do that. Oh yeah, important chords. For chorus, use, and then what you want to do is you want to think of like what you're going to use as well. So I like the JX synth. Because it's a good start. Because otherwise, I'm just like, well, what am I going to use? We'll have extended chords as well. Soulful output. Which I do anyway, but Right, okay, we've got a list. We've got some stuff. Now, lists aren't... so the next thing is I'm just going to put in some sort of order how I want to do this. Oh, there was one... there's a note missing on main hook. And that's the first thing I'll do. And what you can do is you can start kind of, I mean, I'm going to do all of these, but you can put things in a priority list. But actually sometimes in a session like this, right, because it's really important to try and get into flow, and the conditions of flow are, one of them is what you experience in flow, for example, like time dilation. You can use as a condition to get into flow, so that's why I use a timer, because I know if I use a timer it gets me into flow, because I've got to beat the timer, and there's a consequence there. Another one is what they call, and this is like by the psychologist Csikszentmihalyi came up with this one, and I think it's also Stephen Kotler mentions it, but the percentages are slightly different. But basically you have to be, when you set yourself a challenge, you're looking for something, like if it's too easy, it'll be harder to get into flow because you just switch off and you get bored. If it's too hard, too challenging, you'll just, again, switch off and disengage. But the sweet spot for you to engage in the challenge to skill ratio is between 4 to 7%, so it's not as much as you'd think. So it's good to pick something that's going to be a slight challenge, you know, but it is definitely doable. So sometimes I'll put a few kind of like easy things to get me sort of going, really. And then it's like kind of picking things that are going to have the most impact, you know. So definitely the chords are going to have the biggest impact. The hook, doing that note's like an easy one. Note hiss. I mean, actually, the thing about this track is these are all quite easy things to do. Harmonic texture is going to be important, but they're all quite important because this track is all about, like, now, atmosphere, and I can hear the guitar going through it as well. And I can't really hear it. Actually, I can't really hear a B section, so I think, you know, the sections are all there. Right, okay, so note missing from the hook, and then we'll move on to the ambient harmonic textures. Right. Okay. Okay. Right, let's have a look. And that was it. Okay, and so the other thing with the list is you don't want to, you're not chained to it, right? So You're allowed to do other ideas. And for a little bit of atmosphere, let's get through. So out of that one job, another 3 jobs have come in. Interesting how it works, isn't it? See if this works. There's something there. Probably don't want to go back into the melody there, or we could, except something has to happen to it. Okay. Right, what key are we in? Does anybody know what key this is? Alright, good, we've got stuff coming in. seems to be E minor with my calculations. Right, hard to so hard to explain, but there's a fuzz or overpowering part from the synth or distorted guitar. Yes, that's right. So that's a deliberate thing, because I'll explain in a minute. I put like an RC20, which is like this plugin that makes things sound like retro. It's meant to sound like a really dodgy guitar being played back on a VCR recorder. How about some bass fills? Notice there was a lot of interesting stuff happening with the different instruments. Sound bass, right? That's a good one. Was it A minor? C. G major, E minor. Yeah. So, okay. Yes, bass fills. So, Troll, so that's quite wide. Can you think specifically? Can you describe what where the bass fill should be, but more so what it does? Because the cool thing about, if we have a description, then it's more of, yes, I've done this kind of thing. It's easier, and it narrows things down a bit. And also, we can create, if that works, we can then go further and create an explanation, which is another thing. So this is another skill to develop, is being able to describe music and then being able to have an explanation, which is a tricky thing. Right, okay, here we go. Yes, so C, the root note is C. It appears to be E minor, which gives, well, as we work in modes, that's the Lydian mode, isn't it? So we've got a sharp and fourth in there. So it must be like... There you go, there's an F sharp. So in the melody it has a sharp and fourth, it's got an F sharp, so it's Lydian. Right, chords. We're going to try JX, but I'm also going to try electric piano. JX. Edit. This is the tweak I always do. It's the first preset I use. Pull the attack down. That's it. It's ready to rock. And I think let's start this off. We'll just get the bass notes. Oh, hold on. Is that right? Bass notes onto there. I'll just move those out of the way. And then move this up. Now I'll just put that there for reference, because what will happen is I'll start extending these chords and then messing about with the inversions. So that's just a quick way of doing this. Sorry, gotta do this again. There we go. Does sound very retro. It's better. So you can see how I do this. I'll just we'll block in the basic majors, the basic chords, yeah. Okay. And then we'll invert those two. Right, we'll see what that sounds like. Okay. So C major, we're going to make that C major 7. Just stick the space part in so I can hear it. That sounds quite good. So that's that sharp and fourth sound. It's a bit of an acquired taste, isn't it? The sixth sounds good. A lot of the 80s chords, they used like chords that had close voicings, so the notes are quite close together in the chord. Right, D minor, we'll have a D minor 7. Sorry, D major, like that's a dominant 7 right now. I don't like those. They never ever work for me, dominant 7 chords. So I'm just going to bump that up and make it a 9th. It might end up that D's just a passing note and I stick with that chord, but we'll find it, we'll see. A minor, we'll make that a 7th. Stick a 9 in. Go into a straight major 7 probably works. Oh, hold on. B7. Let's try something different. Let's see if this works. Let's try getting the... Oh, I missed one bit. So, these notes are clashing a little bit with the melody. Oh, wrong thing. Don't want that. Right. Sure, yeah. That's what I want. It's much better. Okay, so that's the chords done. Take a couple of these things off actually. That. Okay. Noise. I'll try a few different ones, see what works. Might take some of that tension out. Let's see what happens if I do this. It's going to work a bit better. Better. Whoa, that sounds good. Oh, it's like got loads of atmosphere, hasn't it? Hutch to put the ride cymbal on. So this is what I call one of the sonic signposts that I use. But the thing is, I really like bell sounds like this because when they work, they're great. The cool thing about using a bell sound, subconsciously, if you're wanting to, hi Enzo, how you doing? Wow. Actually, I better check the chat. So using things like the bell on the ride cymbals really cool because we're kind of conditioned that bells, when we hear bells, it's kind of a summoning. It's summoning you to a ritual. So it's a cool thing to use in a track. It means something may happen when you hear it. Shove it over to one side in the image, in the stereo image, and put it in the background. It's almost got that kind of religious effect. So you can put them in places like this. And another cool thing to do is take the top end and filter it. Been listening. There's so many things that I've forgotten from when I produced house music, you know, and this was one of them. Just removing the top end. Another thing we could try is just subtly removing the low end over this bit. So we need to find it's almost like you don't quite realise till the next bit drops in. Get more impact. There you go. In fact, in some ways, I could probably that's even better, isn't it? Let's do all of the top end. from about here, I think. It's a section. There we get a bit more impact. Right. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, great. Glad you're liking it. And so, playing along, very good. Well, it's in a good key to play along. E minor is one of my go-tos. Something's very simple, like a walk up or down before a new section part. Right, brilliant. Okay, that's what we're going to do. And that's going to go up like that, you see. Brilliant troll, excellent. That's going to happen on the 4th beat. And it's probably going to be an octave. Go up to that note. Oh no, it's not working, is it? Tell you what, will sound really good though. Oh, I see, there's another good fill there. Right, this is good stuff. Go in there as well. So I suppose there's an example of description and explanation. So this is what I was getting at. So a description would describe something, but when we can explain something, we can reuse it. So this is like quite a basic example. So Troll said a part, like a bass line that walks up or down. I kind of translated that. Well, the step thing didn't work because I was jumping, because I heard it as an octave, and then I just went for the next thing, which would be some sort of slide, which technically is something that moves up or down. So now we have the bass slide, and then the explanation is like when we're using sustained bass sounds like this, a way of transitioning is to, from one section to another, is to put some sort of a slide in. There you go. And that can either be going 2 notes down, 5 notes, or an octave. And therefore we've got that information, and now I can reuse that and everybody else again and again and again. Right. Oh, good, Nathan. I'm glad you learned some stuff. That's brilliant. Okay, so what am I doing? I'm checking back to the list. String for tension, noise. I have kind of got hiss on it. I don't want to add any more hiss on, I don't think. I'll leave it there just in case. Burial style, found sound, percussion. That could be interesting. Add Foley throughout. Yeah, I do need some like kind of weird stuff going on in the background of this. Oh, what was the other thing? Oh, the percussion bit. So I think we'll try the percussion bit. So a way that I've done this for this particular, it's like this track. Obviously, like I've been listening to some sort of dark garage burial stuff, and then it's come out as this like something that's not even, well, it's 100 BPM. The garage stuff's like 130, 140. It's totally different, and I've tried to like take elements and then shove them into some sort of synthwave style. In an attempt to create something original. So in this situation, what I've done in the past is I've gone to a dark garage or garage sample pack, any one of these will do. Let's try 2. It doesn't matter what BPM we pick. Could try something like that. I'm just going to keep looking though. So I'm just wanting something that kind of pokes through. Let's try Dark Garage one. So, for this, so like all of these loops, right, because it's a garage thing, they'll all be quantized to really heavy swing, or like almost, it'll be triplets. So I'm just gonna, I don't want that, so I'm just gonna chop it into little bits like this. And then we'll see if this works. There we go. So, I'll tell you what, that bass thing works great, doesn't it? When it kicks in, it's like this bit. It's like, woof, you feel it. works really good. Especially there. That's great. So I've never shredded. Anybody been shredding over this track? Is it any good for shredding? I would imagine it is. Just check back on the chart. Excellent. So I'll just have a bit of coffee. Now. Oh, I don't want the headshot. Oh, that's better. Coffee. In fact, I'll top it up. Right, so we're on again tomorrow, and I think what I'm going to do is, because this has got such a nice vibe to it and totally different from everything else, we're going to do another session on it. We've got a list there. I'm going to have a listen. Good to shred over, brilliant as. So we're going to do the same again, but I'm also doing a live with Thomas because he couldn't do the live in the end on Saturday, so we've scheduled one for Tuesday. So that's going to be a long day for me. So this live starts every morning, Monday to Friday, 5:30 is what I try to do. But I'm not sure if I might continue to do them this week, but it depends on how this morning goes, because me and Thomas have got a gig which I've actually got to learn our songs for on guitar, which I've never really done properly. I'm always like so vague on it, and I just like busk everything. So I might have to use the mornings to learn the tracks, but I'm going to try not to get into that situation. So just assume for now that we're going to run as normal. But tomorrow morning we're definitely on 5:30. 5:30. I'm going to try and get my head down and like learn properly the riding out set on guitar this time. So that's what I'm going to do. Right, anybody want to ask me anything while I'm still here for a few minutes? It's been a really good session today. I'm so glad that I found that track. Something different. But like recording the guitars is going to be interesting, isn't it? I've got a clue what I do. Right, so basically we've got a live on Tuesday, and then the gig's just up the road. It's a local thing. I think it's like a friend. So that's what we're doing. And I just said yes straight away when Thomas asked me, because I didn't think about anything else. I just thought, oh right, yeah, actually standing in a real place other than here, and then in front of people. I mean, I can't remember the last time I stood up and played a guitar. That's a good point. I better stand up and play as well. Would be good. And I'm looking forward, because it's going to be it'll be hyperdrive all the way as well. So I'm looking forward to like standing up and playing the hyperdrive. Do you have any available tracks other than McRocklin? And I've got hundreds of tracks. It depends what you mean. So I mean, there's like still more stuff to go out on Dreamstream that I've done. So there's that. I know Thomas was mentioning about doing another upload. I've actually just been putting some of the rough sort of splurgy type ideas for jam tracks in our live. So there'll be a few of those on Tuesday. yeah, and then Nathan, I'm kind of doing my solo project at the minute. Um, so that's what this is about at the present moment. Yeah, there's a video about the new blue. Oh, what's that? Have you written tracks for Dreamstream? I was going to ask McRocklin who writes. No, it's so Dreamstream. That's all. That's like Dreamstream. That's like right. I'll show you. So Dreamstream is um. So all of the Dreamstream stuff I did. It's all of my morning sessions for the last couple of years. So all of those tracks, yeah, I wrote. I mean, Thomas does write backing tracks as well. But all of everything that's on Dreamstream has come from these morning sessions. And what happens is, so what we're looking at here is the automatic music making machine. Now the Dreamstream stuff didn't actually come from this one. If I can get to it, it came from my older one. Is this it? Yeah. So. So this is the sketchbook. So Dreamstream was made out of all of this. So this is all of the kind of Dreamstream stuff. As you can see, this is the sketchbook, and like a lot of this stuff was actually finished. See all the done stuff? Goes on and on and on and on. So it was all of that stuff. Here's the splurges, which kind of got abandoned actually. And then this is all of the stuff that I had up and coming. So there's an album's worth of stuff that I've actually completely forgotten about. A couple in draft. And then there's some of the releases that I've decided to release but then haven't released. And it just goes on like that. So that's what that was. And then I started coaching, because I coached for somebody else, and then he started this other thing called it was like, what was it? It was just called Mastery, and it required me to start another one of these, because we're running a different set of experiments. Oh well, that's good that you listen to all that stuff. So yeah, I mean it's weird because there's like dance stuff. There's like some of the house stuff that I did, like the back end of it, not all of it, is on there. And then like this one, this was started in November, I think November, December. So what I did is when I started these streams as well, I started a completely new machine. So all of these ideas in the sketchbook, all of that, all of this, all of that, all of this, all of that as well. It's just like shitloads of stuff. Is all of the stuff that I've been working on for the last however many months, 8 months or something. So that's what that is. Yeah, and some of that have been like McRocklin Hutch releases. And some of it have been on, well, quite a lot of this stuff is actually on the actual streams as well that me and Thomas do, which isn't on Dreamstream. So there you go. But the idea is, Nathan, is that I'm gonna start releasing lots of music again myself. So that's going to be exciting because I'll have I've got 8 listeners maybe. I think the 8 people are on here will listen to each song I release maybe a couple of times. So I'm expecting to have at least 8 monthly listeners. Right, and that's a good question. How much time are you allowing for practice each day? Quite a lot. Now I'm lucky because with the job that I do, quite often during the day, there's opportunities for me to play. So I've built into my work sort of improvisational kind of stuff. So let's have a think. So it's quite complicated to explain what I do, but basically, I ended up doing last week on, was it? I think it was Monday. I did something like 6 hours jamming, like it literally in one set, one stop, and I had like one little break. That was it. Most days I'll do improvisation, probably at least an hour more. And then actual practice. So I have kind of little micro practices. So which I'll set each day. So today, for example, like last week, one of them was this. So and all that was about was because I'm practicing economy picking. And it'll just be something that, if I've got a metronome handy, I'll use it, but a bit stiff today. And then another one was like picking like a shape of the pentatonic scale and practicing like the 3-1-3-1 sequences. Like whichever one I'm finding hard. So that'll be definitely today's, so that's really nasty, that one. Okay, so there we go. So I'm going to have to go now. There's activity happening in the house. So that's been an excellent stream. So I'll be back on here tomorrow morning, same time at 5:30, and I'll see all you guys then. All right. I'll catch you later. Bye.